I just really do love this place. Staring far into the distance of part of the Black Country and beyond. I mean, just over there you can just see evidence of industry from the past, from an old coal mine which is still remaining right away in the distance. And the views are so nice, you can just see parts of Clent Hills and then the Malverns just lurking right away over the back over to there. And what I really do love about this place is it's well maintained by volunteers, caring for such an important part to the Black Country because of the old industry what was here many years ago. And it is a shame a lot of land around variations of the Black Country are being lost through houses being developed on places like this and being taken back as the Black Country is expanding. And that's why I'm hoping for generations and generations on, this area just where I'm standing right now is well maintained and never pushed back for things like that. Because it is here for many people to enjoy many years on, and to see where industry really began by having the remains of those buildings for people to understand. I just really do love it, and it is one part of my local area what I really do love. I mean, on a nice clear day like today, zooming right away in, you can just see all the landscape right away in the distance. The beautiful views of the Cobb's engine house and the stack just right away down there, overgrown by trees which many years ago would have all been flat land, and you would have the coal hills situated further over the back down to there. And it's great to see people are really enjoying it by bringing their dog for a walk. People come with cameras spotting the wildlife which is over to here. But I could just sit here for hours and stare right away into the distance. You can just see parts of the Malverns just over the back down to there. St Andrew's Church in Neverton lurking right away over the hills into the distance. And it is a really great place because it's next to the canal, the Dudley Canal, stretching all past the bottom, past the visitor centre down into the bumble itself. And why that part is important, because back in the Black Country days when the Industrial Revolution was very heavy with steelworks and, as like I say, coal mining, the canal was used to transport goods in and out the canal line. I mean, just below us right now is Neverton Tunnel, stretching 1.7 miles. Just imagine that built by man. How long that really did take, having history still lurking here today. And that's why I love coming to visit, because there is still stuff to see from the industrial past. The really old board, you can just see a lot of moss has taken back and phased the photos out a bit. But what you can just see here, a picture on for you now, is actually the Cobb's engine house, Windmill and Colliery. It's really big. You even had the head frame right the way there, the main coal winding shafts, which would have been situated somewhere close by, near to the stack, right the way down onto the bottom. But that is a really nice view, just to see the old remains of the coal mine from this distance. I really do love that view. And in the 19th century, the scene in front of you would have been one of the tremendous activity coal mining. Furnaces, brick kilns and boiler works dominated the area, while ironworks also operated around the edges. The site was also crossed by railway and canals which provided the transport for materials and products of these industries. So from my knowledge of what I do know, the railway which served close by was actually operated by the GWR. I'm guessing it actually come past somewhere by Parkhead Junction and led to the Bumble branch, which come right away down to the bottom. I only realised till yesterday that was a railway that actually served to here. So I believe it actually did serve Windmill and Colliery many years ago when that was operating. So it is interesting to see that there was much more over to here, a rail line and a canal. And it's really cool to see that was using those transports back in the days for all the industry what was here. But what a beautiful day. I mean, the sunshine just right away in the distance, and hearing the wildlife just right away behind me. So completed in 1836, Cobb's engine house had a shaft of 160 metres. Inside the building was a huge Newcomen engine. These engines were some of the first powered by steam. They became widespread throughout industrial Britain. To fuel the engine, here a railway line carried coal along the Cobb's engine bridge. But rather than extract coal, this building pumped water. The mines were near a geological fault, a crack in the rock below the Earth's surface. The fault means huge amounts of underground water drained into the mines. Cobb's engine house pumped the water into the Dudley Canal, keeping the mines dry and the waterway wet. So that's actually why the Dudley Canal runs just right below. The pumping house closed in the 1920s after a series of strikes left the mines flooded. In 1928, Henry Ford, founder of the world's famous car company, brought the engine for his industrial museum in Michigan. Here, the remaining building is a listed scheduled ancient monument, giving it the same protection as the Stonehenge. So it is really interesting to see some information about the Cobb's engine house. Just imagine how old it does date back. Imagine all the people that work for that mine, digging coal day by day to come in and out that mine. It must have been very hard work, and coal mining across the Black Country was hard work for the people back in the past. There was many deaths around several coal mines, like Birmingham, but Coleridge was an incident where a fire broke out underground. You would imagine it was paid quite a lot because it was a dangerous job. But it was interesting to see how many was running across the Black Country. Really interesting. So right, it's a bit further down I'll come across more information which is more visible because this sign is brand new. So it's going to be interesting to show you what was here many years ago. We just pan around to show you. So right, here's the board. Really interesting, it tells you about the bungalow, Gads Green Reservoir, the triangle lifting crane, and of course the bridges and Netherton Tunnel and the canal. So we've got a lot of information we can just quickly have a look at before we move further down. But here's a map showing you all the different areas. You've got the Boshboyle Arm, Boshboyle Pool, Bungalow, site of the former clay pit and Windmill End furnaces, just right away there. Visitor centre, coming all the way down, coke ovens, got an incline there, Warrensall Colliery, and you've got Cobb's engine house, so there would have been another coal mine somewhere further down the back. Netherton Tunnel Portal and Gads Green Reservoir, which is right away here, somewhere where we're standing, whether the reservoir was somewhere down the back, down the bottom. Really interesting. So basically what it says, the bungalow lies in the southwest corner of the area. The origin of the name bungalow is uncertain. The word hole used in place names often refers to the water feature, and bumble describes the noise of humming of an engine or even the sound of running water. Oh well, that's really interesting. So if many of you didn't know that, that's actually what that is. Local legends suggest that an industrialist installed a steam-driven hammer in an ironclad building in the bottom of the pit, which is now the bungalow pool. The noise this hammer made sounded like a bumhole, and was referred by the locals as bumhole in the hole, later shortened to bungalow. That's really interesting, I never knew that. So you do learn quite a lot when you check out these history boards, some bits of information what's not on the internet. However colourful this story, Harry Court's map of the parish of Dudley around 1780 shows a substantial property on the land referred to as Bumble. So the name Bumble predates much of the industrial use of the land. So just right behind me is a grassland. So this is actually called Gads Green Reservoir. In the hollow behind you was Gads Green Reservoir. It was built in 1790 with the engineer Josiah Clowes in charge. It supplied water to the Dudley Canal at Parkhead when Dudley Tunnel was built, and also to the Dudley No. 2 Canal when it opened in 1798. The reservoir was extended in 1802 to cope with the increased boat traffic. The dam was raised by topping the sandstone with several feet of furnace slag. Parts of the stone and brickwork from the dam can be seen on the nearby path. The reservoir was often affected by mining activities and finally closed in 1910. So you just see a reservoir which is right behind me, so if I do get down there a bit I will show you where that was, but it's really interesting to see that was things here in the past what is not even there no more. I mean, panning all the way down we've got more about the Dudley No. 2 Canal. So the Dudley No. 2 Canal, the canal was begun in 1793 and finished in 1798 to link up with the Worcester and Birmingham Canal at Selly Oak and with the Dudley No. 1 Canal at Parkhead. So you imagine on the Dudley No. 2 it would develop all the way to the Lapple Tunnel, which closed in an early date through coal mine subsidence. So you can just see it would have led further on to go to Selly Oak. So the sections ahead of you, originally known as the Bumble Branch and Boshbourne Arm, joined up to form the Bumble Loop. This was bypassed in 1858 when a straight section of canal was built to take traffic into the Netherton Tunnel. Netherton Tunnel was built in 1855 and 1858 when the Birmingham Canal Navigations had taken over the Dudley Canal Company. It was 2,768 metres, 327 yards long, 1.7 mile in total, and it is the widest tunnel built in the country, having towpaths on both sides. It was possible to walk through the tunnel to reach the Dudley Port on the main Wolverhampton to Birmingham Canal. So there is a photo here showing Netherton Tunnel of a horse-drawn boat. So you can see there the horse dragging the boat out of Netherton Tunnel. So that is actually taken on this side, which is just right away here, which is really interesting. So we've got the triangle lifting crane, which is right away there, really nice old photo. And you've got the bridges here. So the cast iron bridges, such as the one illustrated above, made at Toll End Works, are now all grade listed too. So this design is seen only on the canals which are owned by Birmingham Canal Navigations. And as I've said in the previous videos before, when I've gone across the canals, most of the canal bridges were made at the Horsey Company in Tipton in the 1800s. So you see lots of interesting stuff across the canal lines which you still see today. So right, here we are, this is Gads Green Reservoir. I'm just taking the shortcut because I don't really want to go all the way around, then link back up to the top up to there. So this is a quicker shortcut to get right away over to the bottom. So right, here we go. This is Gads Green Reservoir. What's interesting is there is old metal remains of something that could have been part of like an old drainage thing many years ago. You can just see all the metal sticking right away over the ground, sticking right away there. You could probably find quite a lot of stuff that was here many years ago. I mean, journeying further down and just seeing what this is onto the corner. Got a drainage hole just right away here. It might not be nothing to do with the reservoir, but yeah, you just see there's something else here. I mean, how you can tell there was a reservoir over here, because if I zoom in, you can just see the banks going on the slope right away to the top, past where the housing estate is right away at the back. You see a slope just beginning just onto that corner there, and that kept all the water within the area by having another slope here. So where we're standing right now, we'll be underwater basically. The water will have been a bit further up above my head, so it's amazing to see how much it has really changed. But there we go, this is Gads Green Reservoir, panning all the way around once more for you. So right, here we are to the far back of the Romans Hall now. It's crossed over a road, past the Nelson estate, and over to this one, which will lead us to some more pools right away down the bottom. Got Romans Hall Riding Club right away at the top, next to Turner's Hill, where the ride the horse is. Been up here a few times and it is surrounded with wildlife up this part once more. You see all the trees that I'm surrounding this area. And it leads all the way to the back, Portway Hill. Never been up there to check up the views, but I've been to Turner's Hill only once. I went on a bike ride a few weeks ago to check it out, and the views are really amazing. That's why I brought my camera with me today. So I will just show you where old industry was in the distance. So you could see many years ago, many people know Portway Farm. From the corner where an offer was taken, you could just see Albright and Wilson, and it stacks right away in the distance. But here we are, just panning it up. It's a really steep walk, this one now. If I just pan around to show you, you can just see all the fields over the back. I believe there is a pool somewhere, if we can try and find it. I believe the pool could be just further back over to here. I think I've come a different way. The last time I ever come down, I did actually find the Netherton Tunnel pepper pots. We are somewhere over to here. And you see, path leading that way. Just make a wonder where these pepper pots even are. Are they over this section? Where did I see it last time? We'll take this route, I think. They are definitely somewhere. I did find them on the last visit. So the only issue what I have had with this walk before is this. It is really, really muddy over to this section. There was a lot of people telling me before in my previous videos going back over a year ago, can you find the pepper pots for Netherton Tunnel and see if you can find at least one of them over here. And here we are. Found this when I was on my bike ride the other day, and I thought, oh, what's that sticking up? And I didn't realise it was actually Netherton Tunnel air shaft number 4. But there would have been many years ago, as you may know, Netherton Tunnel would have had more than a numerous amount of air shafts, some of them filled in the old days, leaving the open ones which are sticking right away up. Similar to what you would get down by Gloucester Hill, the Gloucester Hill Tunnel running right around underneath on a, I think it's Station Road, just a bit further up. You have got one of these in a garden, on someone's garden, one of these sticking over up. That is actually the pepper pot for Gloucester Hill Tunnel, and this one's actually similar. This is the Netherton Tunnel air shaft number 4 one. Similar design to the Gloucester Hill Tunnel air shaft one, the pepper pot. Really cool to see that. But imagine deep down, you would literally see right away to the bottom. What interests me with this, when you're going through Netherton Tunnel, you can hear water drips from most of them, and I'm wondering where all this water even does come from. But wow, so there we go, there's Netherton Tunnel air shaft number 4. Let's get a bit close. So right, I mean, I could just feel all the cold coming from the bottom of Netherton Tunnel. And you see up to there, all those spikes sticking out. You could just imagine this pepper pot is really old. And it's cool to see there the British Waterway sign, Netherton Tunnel, air shaft number 4. So I'm guessing all the other air shafts lead further up the hill somewhere. There is an air shaft on a road, on a roundabout somewhere, close to it's on a Nelson estate. Don't know what's further around the back of it. I don't think you can look down. No, but that's the air shaft itself. But there's a really cold vibe coming from here. You can feel the cold air coming from the top of that air shaft. Pretty cool. So there we go, there's Netherton Tunnel, air shaft number 4. So right, there we go. I'm not going to go the way I come on the bike. I'm going to go all the way back up, so hopefully it takes you back on that path for where I come from to go right away straight to the top. Well, interesting seeing that, so I hope you've enjoyed that. But right, let's go and journey all the way up and see what else we can find over here. So right, I'm guessing this is leading us back to that path. So I'm just wondering where these pools are, because I definitely 100% seen pools on my first ever visit up here. Here we are, here's the pools. So I thought there was some extra pools right away at the top. It is full of like water birds up to here. You can see them now, the mallards. See the heron when I come up last time. Do get the cormorants come up, because there's a load of cormorants down by the other BCM main line towards Sheep Ross Nature Reserve. There's a load of them over there, and sometimes they do come over this way. But here's the pool itself. Really cool, got some fishing spots. Really lovely. Overviewing the top of Turner's Hill right away at the top. And you've got the quarry which lurks right away down the back. Beautiful view of the sunshine though this morning. Absolutely beautiful. So there we go, that's actually one of the pools. This path what I'm taking around the corner does bring me around the other side of it, going straight away up. But it's just really beautiful over here with the amount of wildlife what I've heard this morning. Always mornings are the best place to come to places like this. The afternoons, I mean like today it's really sunny, it draws much out. But the mornings and evenings is when the best time to spot things like this. And see a robin right around the tree where I'm viewing right away now up to there. A few blue tits. Might see if I can get some pictures later. I've got my zoom camera with me, so let's keep going on. What a steep hill. Nearly made it. You've got a riding centre just further over the top, and you've got the beautiful views stretching all the way out down to the bottom. The views from here are much more better than what I have seen from the bungalow. Panning all the way around, you can just see further over the back now, right away into the distance. Wow, spectacular view. Check out that. But when we get to the top of Turner's Hill, you will see much more than that. It's really so high up. And that's what our plan was today, to go and check out the views on a nice clear day. If I zoom in, check out that. I tell you what, if you do this on a regular basis, it would really keep you fit and active. But it is tiring and knackering, especially if you haven't done anything like this in such a long time. But the higher I walk up, the bigger that view becomes. Wow. Even more now. I can just see further over this way. Check out this angle. Wow. Now see over that way now. There's a nice angle from there. Whew. So yeah, can't wait to get that camera out. I've got another camera to show you. I did have a Nikon P950 going back ages and ages ago. But this is a 60x zoom camera what I've got to show you. Might actually do a review video on it. But here we are, here's the path now leading to the top, near to Turner's Hill. And you've got the riding place just right away here in the stables. So just past the Warren's Hall riding school, there is actually another pool right at the top. You can see there's a pool. We've got some ducks onto here. There was some more hens last time I come to check this bit out. Oh cool, is that having a pool next to here right away on top. So like I say, it just draws much wildlife up to here. Wow. Oh, I've made it, what a walk. Can just see the views over to the bottom down that way, which I'll be showing you a bit later on. But by the side of me is really interesting. Got the wheat sheaf derelict local community. I'm guessing that might have been a pub or like a little club. I'm thinking a pub maybe. It's been derelict for quite a bit that, so I've noticed that last time I ever come up to here. But here we are, got a sign saying Turner's Hill, which is right away just in front. So right, I believe straight away in front takes you to where the radio towers are, right away at the back, and then you've got the quarry, which is right way down onto the bottom. Now we're at the other side of that golf club now, which is on this side. I noticed that the very last time I come down, so I'm guessing that house which I'm checking out right now onto this corner, that once more is really old, tell by the brickwork. And then it's got its own private pool right away into the gardens, really lovely. It's full of ducks and wildlife onto there. Imagine, I would love a house like that there, where you've got something like that to walk out to, just onto your doorstep. That is really beautiful. I think there is a footpath on this side, but I think what I'm going to do is come down to the footpath last. Let's go and check out the radio towers and go right away to the top. Not too far to get to it. I mean, you can just see the radio towers getting a bit closer and closer as they're walking further up, just right where back into there. And you see how big that radio tower even is. I mean, just imagine if you could get to the top of there, the views would be so amazing. I bet you could just see as far as Bristol, believe it or not. Those are so tall up. Imagine doing maintenance on them when you've got to climb to the top. You look so cool at the top of there. And here we are, not too far from the gates. So here's the radio towers for Turner's Hill. You can't get as close as what you can to them, but this is the only close bit what you can see. Zooming right away in, as you can just see it right away there, sticking right away to the top. You can actually see that from really quite far. I mean, from places where I've been, this has been visible from the distance. Clent Hills, you can even see it really far behind in some parts of the Worcestershire area. Well, this place is just so high up, you know, like Clent, the views are just spectacular of the back to Portway and this section down onto here. But well, and you got the quarry's on this side. So right, here we are, this is where the quarry is. Onto this corner. Obviously you can't get over there, but I can just see, I've noticed this on the last visit, there's a little thing sticking out like some sort of like air vent. So underground is like a big cave or tunnels maybe. Interesting to see that. So there is an air vent to something. So I noticed that on the very last visit, and you could just see some of the rock which was dug out a bit there onto the corner. So right, if you can just see this through the gap, it's sort of a view from it. Oh wow, that is such a big dip down there. And I can't show it yet because it is sort of on that angle down there, what I can just see with my eyes. It is so deep down, guys, that is. But there's absolutely no way, because you just see danger, keep out, blocking the views. I mean, all these trees are blocking the views right away down into the dip. It's a shame. So right, Turner's Hill is the highest hill in the county of the West Midlands at 271 metres, 889 feet above sea level. The hill is in the Rowley Hills range, situated in Rowley Regis, with the boundary of Dudley nearby. There's panning all the way down, picture there showing the two radio transmitter towers at the summit. So got an elevation of 271 metres as mentioned. So it's the county top, all the way down, mountain type, sedimentary, age of rock, the Silurian period. Wow. So the hill can be seen from many miles away and offers good views to Clent Hills, Kimber Edge, Shatterford Hill, Barbeacon, and on a clear day to the Shropshire and Malvern Hills, which I mentioned earlier. There are good views of the hill from the M5 motorway between junctions 1 and 2, so we will go down now and actually show you a bit of views, which is going to be quite interesting, and get my camera out for a change, and we'll have a nice zoom in and show you some zoomed images of further away in the distance. So here we are, we've got a public footpath on this side taking us through, and a public footpath taking you through the golf course all the way down at the bottom on that section. So let's take this way. So you can just see a bit more better of the radio transmission towers of that photo what I showed you earlier, taken from this side. Zooming right away so you can just see the other tower onto the corner. So I think this is the beginning of the viewpoint now, so it should loop us all the way around past these radio towers. So here we go. Wow, the views in the distance over that way are so cool. Let's see further over to the back. Zooming right away in just to show you. You could just see no end of distance right away over there. Be interested to zoom into that a bit later on. Well, over to the back you've got Portway Hill. There is another smaller transmission tower on the Portway Hill side over on that section, so it would be interesting to see what that side is like. I'm guessing the Portway Hill will give you more views over the Black Country on the surrounding side, so we are going to move over to there. But I was actually told, going back ages and ages ago during the Second World War, there actually used to be some gun emplacements somewhere up onto these hills, whether it was on Portway Hill or this hill itself. There used to be gun towers up here because it's so high up. They've got the views to see whether the German planes were coming. And I was told that by some other locals and also some family relatives who told me about history of gun emplacements being here. How true it is I really don't know. I've tried to find information out, so if many of the locals do know about it, then feel free to talk about that. It would be interesting to find out furthermore. So all I'm going to do is just follow this trail on the floor so I can just see where it's been treading down quite a lot. So I'm trying to get to the back over there. I'm going to see there is even more bits of farmland onto here. A lot of farmland. And then some really old buildings over there, which is quite interesting. So many years ago I did find out some other interesting stuff. There used to be a farm over here called Portway Farm, just on the road down the bottom. So I will put a photo on for you now so you can actually see Portway Farm just down onto there. And it was actually overlooking some views of the Albert and Wilson stacks right away into the distance, so it is really quite interesting to see that. So I thought I might have actually showed you that a little bit. I don't know if there's any way to get down from past there. I don't think there is. We'll see where this actually goes because there is still a path leading from here. So I just really don't want to chance this because I have no idea what this even is. I mean, there's no sign saying is it a public right away. Leave that. I mean, it was just open like that when I come down, so I'm going to leave it. So right, our next location to cross over is that bit there now. This is actually Portway Hill. So right, this should give us the best views now, hopefully. Fingers crossed it does. So I can just see some views now. I think you can see over Oldbury and then further over the back. So right, here we go. Wow, them views are spectacular. Check out this. Oh, that's breathtaking. Right away over there, I mean, you can just see the Solvay works where the Albert and Wilson is. I'm going to zoom on that actually. Got the motorway. Birmingham, wow. Check out this view. Wow, that is actually a really nice view of part over the Black Country on this side. That is so cool. I mean, you just see further and further into the distance. I was trying to find a way now if we can sit down and just have a bit of a relax somewhere. So right, let's go and see what the views are like. So I've got my camera on the stump, what I found earlier, where I could see the view right way to the distance of Birmingham. Further over that way where the motorway is, got Solvay works, what was Albert and Wilson. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Let's get over to the camera and see what it's all about. So right, I have no idea what this camera is even like for filming, whether you can hear me a bit better than what the camera I've got in my pocket. But the views over that way are absolutely so stunning from just standing here and checking out the views from where I'm standing. But if we get back round, you can actually just see further into the distance if I zoom in very carefully. If I be a bit careful, you can just see parts of Birmingham right around the distance. It's a little bit hazy as we're getting into the afternoon now. It wasn't earlier when I come out, it was very clear. You just see all the houses right around the distance. Further in, factories right around the back of there, home bargains, shops. There's Birmingham. If I just pan further around, you just see much of Birmingham itself into the corners. Got the BT tower. The zoom is so impressive to even see it from this range. I must say it is a really impressive camera for the price and the budget. All the way around. Wow, look how impressive that is for the views. Zooming all the way out. Wow. So let me know what you guys think of the zoom on this. Drop it into the comments, it's really interesting. Factories down the bottom. I'm guessing that's part of Albury down there somewhere. If I just shuffle round where you get to this angle, I'll be able to show you from here now. And then there we go, we've got a motorway right around the distance. Brilliant quality of the cars going past. Got the motorway signs, West Bromwich and Birmingham. Can just about read it from here, it's that clear. Got the Chance's Glassworks, Chance Brothers just right around the corner. Padding all the way around. Wow. That is so impressive, even further of the motorway off the back. Got a stadium over there. Flats. Check out that. Oh, that's cool. This is the second time I've even used this camera for a very, very long range. Wow. Impressive. If I pick up the camera and zoom right away in, you can just see the Solvay works with the stack. Albright and Wilson many years ago. That's actually where Albright and Wilson was with all those buildings. So that Solvay works is actually one of the oldest within the country on the former old Albright and Wilson plant. So right, how cool is that? It just showed you a bit of views right away into the distance. You can just see much more. You can just zoom in on anything you want within the far range. It'd be so cool. Shame about the haze though. I mean, I don't know whether that bit's hazy over that way. When I come now, you see further over the back, which is quite cool. But for a camera for £200 just to do that, that is just so impressive. So yeah, go and look them up at Lumix, Panasonic Lumix FZ82. They're really cheap, you can get them off Argus Currys, had mine off Currys. But yeah, definitely worth investing into one if you want a cheap camera to start off with. Get this camera. I'm actually going to get a Nikon P1000 in a few years time, and that zoom is just out of this world. So yeah, what about that? Back to the normal camera now. That was really exciting to see. Bit of wildlife, bit of the views. Spectacular, I just really do love it. But I'm going to journey my way all the way back now from the bottom of the road back down to the Warrental Riding Centre. So I hope you're impressed with that, it's really amazing. Second time I got to use it since the Wazy Hills video. But wow, I mean, there's that much wildlife over this area. I mean, there's buzzards soaring just all above where the radio tower's in, right in the distance. I can hear them. I mean, they might be small on this camera, what I've got now. Wow. What an amazing trip. I just really enjoyed today, just come and see the views. The views are just amazing over that way. So yeah, what we're going to do now, get the camera out, let's see if we can actually spot some wildlife over here, see what secrets lurk within the Warrens Hall itself. Let's see how much nature we can spot on the camera. A bit of cinematics. Absolutely really lovely. Just enjoyed going on that black country walk up to Turner's Hill. Them views were just so spectacular. Back to where I started the video earlier on, down into the bumble now where the windmill and collar is, just over into the distance over to there. Nice way just to come to near to the end of the video. I'm going to walk down to the canal and then go all the way down to the old hill section down to there. I'm going to walk it all the way back home now for a nice afternoon walk. It's just been lovely how the weather's kept off and kept nice and sunny. But I'm definitely going to do that again. It is one nice walk for me, definitely 100%. But you know, you can just imagine over many years when the Industrial Revolution was happening, you had the coal mine just right away here. Just imagine how old these two things really are. You'd have had even more extensions onto here with the main wheel where it took the shaft right away down. Got the chimney stack right away at the top, and then you would have had some more things there, like I mentioned earlier in the history, a Newcomen engine type thing right away into the pumping station. It's just so old, and I really do love seeing the old buildings of the Black Country. It really does tell the story, and that's why it's really good to keep a place like this for memories for generations and generations on. It's just really fascinating just to look at from a distance. Real piece of Black Country history this is. I mean, just walking through, you're just walking completely through time, as you just see right away up the old design of the building, all the old wood still sticking out, still got the old wheel peeking right away at the top, as you can just see right the way up there. Very old. And this was actually been the pumping station where they pumped all the water out the coal mine. They've actually still got some of the old things still remaining onto the floor. So I believe this was concreted over, so there'd have been a big hole in the ground just underneath me right now somewhere, I believe, or somewhere outside. That is cool to see that. Very old architecture for a coal mine.